everybody. My name is Jessica Holyfield. I'm a professional dancer, professional dance choreographer, and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States. And we're going to be taking a look at the finals of Red Bull Dance Your Style from literally today. It just happened at the time that I'm recording, and it was between Waackxxxy versus Geo. So what's really cool is we just finished watching Waackxxxy compete with Mana Queen with Street Woman Fighter Season 2 finals, and I heard that she flew on a plane and competed at this event, and she won this event. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how it all went down here in the finals. Can't wait to watch it. Let's go ahead and check it out. Yeah. Yeah. She's like, okay, let's go. Hey. Ooh. Yeah. Like how we hit that. Yeah, yeah. Okay. I will say I heard this track before. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. So I would feel like the criteria for this is whatever style you choose to represent, you have to be able to show innovation in your own style within that style, but also be able to create the essence and presence and authenticity within the track that you're being presented with as well. So it is very, I mean, it would be very difficult to do effectively. All right, here we go. Yeah. on, come on. Come on, come on, come on. What's he about to do? Okay. Like that. Okay. Okay. Okay, okay. So a 3-rounder, right? Are we still going? Okay. I'm assuming that was our final, right? Yep, and they go down, we see that Mana Queen. We have Miss Waackxxy took it. Absolutely love that. We'll see her win real quick. There's a lot of people, even though you see a lot of people with the blue bands, you see a ton of people with the red bands. See that tail and that back right there. You see that over there? So I know some people would be like, why is there so much blue? And she won. Did you see it? Look at all that red. That's a huge room, guys. A huge room. Okay, let's talk about it. Do I think, based on this, because remember, you want to treat these semis versus finals as fresh. It should be a clean slate. You know, what we're looking at. Also, too, if you notice, shout out to U.S. Representative Sean Liu in the building right there. Okay, so taking a look at this, do I think that she deserved the win? Yes, especially by round 3. I would say it's super tight in those first 2 rounds, I would say. And she did slightly mess up in round 3. You can see she wasn't quite as stable, but then he also kind of fibbed a lot in his set. So we're going to take a look, break down each one real quick, see why I personally would have picked Waackxxy, not because of biasness, but not because I just saw her from Street Woman Fighter Season 2. If anything, I would have been more inclined to pick Gio because I had been saturated in Waackxxy's performance and perspective for months now in comparison to Gio. But I do feel that she would have taken this one. So in this top right here, so it appears where you have, where it's more like a hip hop track, and then they had a track where it's neither of their styles, and then you have a track that caters to the other one. So the first one catered more towards Gio. The second one catered to neither of them, and the third catered to Waackxxy. It's kind of how I feel this dancer style kind of worked with. Let me say this as a side note, this track, so I said this at the end of whenever they did this track, I remember one of Sean's, because I remember through Dance Your Style, you end up seeing a lot of people pop up. Sean would pop up pretty often, and I remember he did this track at a Red Bull Dance Your Style event. So I think it's, do I feel that they should at least make sure they don't overlap their catalog from what has been done in the past? Whenever you're a big competition like this, I would say that should be a goal, you know, to not overly, at least with the things that you're sharing that are viral, at least not try to reuse those. But you're not perfect and things happen and you have different DJs all over the world for these events. So anywho, that's just a complete side note. But taking a look here, how she sets this up. She carries the appropriate pocket for each one, maintains herself as an artist. Her overhead variations are always great as she builds this on, and she hits boom, boom, rides the rhythm, rides the bass, allows her body to reverb out of it into how she needs to have it. Notice how she takes it, builds it up from the knees, back to the chest, not to the chest, to the hips, and then drop it back down into the knees. Absolutely love that. I love that there. Just da-da-da, bring it up, tink, tink, bring it nice, well and over, super fun. So she does more whacking, heavy aesthetic here. She keeps it more stationary, doesn't really travel as much. Notice this ticking wave she's about to do. We've seen her do that, this type of, not polyrhythmic, but kind of cat and mouse canon of a wave. I've learned that as well. It's really fun to do because it's once you know it, and it's just really nice just finding the pockets of the music to where you hit it, because it is complex in nature. And, you know, it's nice that she's trying to promote some sense of stability. Then by doing that, she takes her arm, kind of twiddles it down, takes her leg, is in full control, and then decides to do what she wants with it. Love that, because now it's turned into a 3-part polyrhythm, so she's built it, and that's something she's always been really good at, is taking her movement somewhere, being able to showcase it well, but not only that, be able to enhance and create polyrhythms on top of polyrhythms, and that's a really good skill to have in this way. And also note too, I think when it comes to battles that I've analyzed on the channel, the last battle I've done was Waackxxy and Yoonji versus the twins. And they held it down then. Waackxxy held it so down. I honestly think she took it against the twins on her first round, and then we talked through the rest of it. But I'm saying, like, this was really nice to see. Like, she's back in her element, going from a show like Street Woman Fighter, flying over to compete in a battle, multiple rounds, mind you, because this is probably like round 3 or 4 of like battle wise, not even including the 3 rounds she just had to do here. So she is very fatigued here, having to come from performing multiple times under adrenaline in your home country in a different scope, different criteria expected of you, but I feel like she's more in her element here, which I feel works for her. This isn't a choreography competition, it's Dance Your Style, you know, so it's more going to be freestyle based. So seeing how she takes this, bringing it up, melt through, she's still holding on to that stability, upping her level of execution. Love that. Very stable and all that. That was gorgeous. That kick, 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 kick all the way around. Chooses when she drops the foot down. Then she decides to travel it. Great call. Try to use your staging a little bit more. That was really nice. That heel turn was gorgeous. Very stable there. She threw it up and then she dropped it on the beat. Very nice. So she matched the music very well. And that's, I would say, a basic criteria to have in this competition, is you want to match the aesthetic of the music regardless of what style you represent. You look here, she's representing whacking, so there's going to be a certain timbre, certain scope, certain tonal color that a lot of people are going to naturally have in cadence to whacking. A lot of those people know who she is, and a lot of people know who he is. Remember, it's the battle of the best, right? Is really what a lot of these competitions stem from. Now, my personal opinions of Red Bull is completely, it doesn't matter in all this. Just like I don't have strong opinions about any of these major competitions. I know a lot of other people who are in the scene, like in the choreography scene, they have different feelings compared to those who are in the street scene. They have mixed feelings about this show, not show, but this competition circuit because of payment and all that, but that's not what we're here to talk about. So I'm not approaching this like, okay, but I do know who comes to these, who goes to these, who presents themselves to these. And Waackxxy is considered a world-class battler. Gio also is, right? And a lot of people who have been eliminated. I know that she in semis, I hadn't had a chance to watch the battle yet, but she battled against The Crown, and The Crown was he lost against the winner of last year's. So I feel like, and she ended up taking him out of the competition. So it's super crazy to see, you know, just the caliber of who she's been up against, just knowing who else she was up against. Really commendable that what she brought here was still very of great quality, and you can see her stamina too. Her stamina did not drop at all this entire round, when I feel like Gio dropped near that tail end of round 3, you know. But seeing this was different. I was expecting her to do something more with her hips, but I'm glad she didn't. It was really nice to see her drop it in with the 2 ticks out. Really fun, interesting way to go about that. That was really nice. Boom, boom, boom. Then she dropped that bass. That was nice. That little bit right there. Boom. And then she ended up creating more of a crump pocket here, which was super fun and interesting. And she threw it. Now, I thought it was interesting. Good chance that she either didn't hear them say switch or what. That's what I'm going to equate it to, because most of the time when people keep dancing, they don't hear the MCs being like, hey, it's switch. But I'm assuming they both got the same excerpt of the track is what it sounds like, right? Because she's still going and he's like, hey, I'm trying to go. She's still going. Look at that. Oh, even that setup was filthy. I love that. Now, I will say some people may have been influenced to pick Gio just from the sheer fact of the fact that she kept going even in Gio's round. It's like a courtesy thing, right? Regardless of whether she heard the MC or not. Yeah, you notice that? I think she realized. She didn't realize, honestly. And so he's asking them to run it back. Yeah. So I wonder, that also could have been, that could have thrown him off. Not 100% sure, but I do think that some people in the audience, you cannot negate it. Some people in the audience may have been like, I'm not voting for her because she wasn't respectful to her opponent. You know, some people do act like that. For me, it's just let the battles take care of itself. No, she did that every time, and she couldn't hold it down every time she did it. That's a very different conversation. She holds it down every freaking time whenever she performs. She really does. So what she brought to the table was really nice, but most people have already checked out from her performing because they were focused on Gio. And so that's another thing to factor in too. But also at the end of the day, what she did during that part was really cool. With her thread throughs and her tuts were really nice. So here you go. He's resetting it. So they ran it back. I love this. I love his choice here as he's choosing to really placate to whatever aesthetic he's bringing, the twisting, and he's allowing his head to be responsive to how he's going about this particular movement, which is really nice. But then not only that, whenever you see him kind of prop more in that squat position, I will say though, he had that squat position and he kind of reset into that. Normally, if it, you know, I mean, it's just kind of, it depends on what your vibes are, you know? So I really like how he chose to build this up with the music, with the bass. That was really nice. Da-da-da-da-da with a double hit. Super nice. Really shows his athleticism. He builds it up. That was cool on that triple. Bass, bass, bass. Great travel through. That was cool as he goes. He hinges and creates that, hits that sound beautifully. Hinges back down. Amazing range this guy has. So whenever you see his hinges, how he creates the stability within that is very impressive. You know, I will say that how he's going about a lot of his movements, really relying upon those bases, but the bases are very nice and entertaining, and everybody else is going to be thinking in their head, how's he going to hit those bases, right? And the buildup of those bases. So I think that he's doing a good job placating to the audience because there's a lot of blue lights in that room. He held his own. Remember, this is the finals. They're both amazing. A lot of it's going to be stemmed from preference of how well do you think each of them within their respective styles justified the track and justified themselves as dancers. That's really the whole thing at the end of the day, right? So honestly, it's just this Battle of the Greats, which is really fun. So how he chose to do this part with that bass and it keeps going because everybody was waiting for this part. He's choosing to go on a one knee stable, build up your audience. And how he chose to hit the triple in the air. Doo-doo-doo. Land on one foot. That was mad impressive there. That was nice. Da-da-da-da-da-da with the wordplay there. So he does a really good job of framing the face, choosing really intricate animated ways to make that happen. Super fun. That was a really fun thread. So I like the fact he's hitting the bass because everyone's going to predict that he's going to hit the bass. But what's nice about it is he's approaching it in a very different way, but still creating fingerprints of aesthetic from what he's already set up at the beginning of his set. So that was very enjoyable. That was there. Papa. Ooh, that was sick. That swing, bring it around. That was filthy. Yeah, so all of these movements, I feel like as he threw it, and then he created more of a bass using his pelvis. That was really nice. And this created more of a gimmick. That was really nice. Very strong from both of them. Very strong. Now, this track is a dancehall track. Another bang up, baby, calm down. Or it could be, you know what? Pause. Okay, forgive me. It's not dancehall. It is Afro. It's Afro influence. So it's like an enmeshment vibe here. So it's technically not catered to either of them. And that's why it kind of justifies what I'm thinking is happening. Remember, this is my first time actually reacting to dancer styles. This is kind of fun for me. But I do know how the lighting works that the audience picks. And I think they're the judges, right? But correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, going back to here. So they do choose to take more of a dance hall approach to it because the BPM and the vibes and that caters more towards Afro, of course, that boom, boom, but also dance hall can be done very well here because of how chill it is, or based on the other tonal context of how you're hearing the track. It's just, this song is such an enmeshment of multiple genres. It makes sense how you would interpret different genres physically into the track, just from a musical standpoint. So how you see this is so subtle, doom, 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 so beautiful. And I love how she's just setting it up, bleeding it from the hips, isolating it nice and stiff, but over to the top. But I need you to take a look at this too. So this is the problem when you have an audience that carries the votes. Now, I'm assuming, like, here's what I'm gonna do. As soon as I'm done reacting to this, I'm probably gonna go look up how the judging system works. But if you just take a look here, he hasn't watched her once. He hasn't watched her once. You have so many people with their heads turned facing the back. They're not watching her. They're just doing whatever they want. And that's the issue you run into when you have the public or like the audience, even if they're dancers. A lot of them are not even watching her. So how can they have an objective perspective on how she does it if they're not even watching her? Do you know what I'm saying? She's literally right there. Oh, now we're choosing to watch her. Okay, whatever. That's like my problem. And also take a look too. So many of them are choosing to just vibe out with each other instead of watching her. If you're going to vote, then watch. It's a common courtesy thing. Now, I also know too, it's a long night, and I've also done this myself. I have. And so, but also too, if I'm a judge, if my opinion matters in how somebody's results are going to be, the most common decent courtesy thing, watch. Even if you know who you're going to vote for, be courteous, watch. You'd be shocked. Really. Even though you've already seen them 3 times already that night, watch. It's courteous. Especially if you're judging. So also, I love how they choose to break this down. It is really nice. It's definitely not smooth, but she's taking a more staccato approach in how she's choosing to bleed through this. And then she bleeds it up from there. Super nice. Now, for me with waving, I do feel like she kind of cuts it off here at the wrist, so she needs to extend it further, especially if she's wanting to bleed over into other things. But I understand how she kind of takes it into tuts, which is really nice. But just keep in mind, though, like, I think how she hits it, it does feel a bit labored, I think, with waving. And I think for the track, I understand it, and it works with this type of aesthetic with how she's building it up. So I understand that, and I think it's fine. But because I'm very saturated in the technical aspect of waving, and that's what I do personally, I do feel more of a consciousness of how that is executed over the other aspects of her set. So, but it is still very nice. It matches well. You know, I feel like she's making risks and taking those waves and using them to hit certain timbres of her track that you normally don't see people hit, which is really nice. And she just her overheads into that's something she's done a really good job of always, is being able to ride the rhythm, but also be able to still showcase herself in how she chooses to interpret that. And she tells a story with it too. Then she threads it through. Really fun. I love that with that triple. Doom, doom, doom. Beautiful. This whole set is gorgeous. That little da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's all different than how she set up her first set. That's great. We love to see that. Look at that. I love it. She chose to take, it looks like a loose leg. Yeah, a loose leg, but she had more of a legato groove into it. And then she's polyrhythmically hitting it up with a different way. That was gorgeous. Yeah, this whole thing is so gorgeous. Beautiful. But she only chose to do it to one side, and then she didn't bleed out to the other side, and then she brings it back into her mouth. That right there. Boom. Ding, ding, bo. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, so all this. Give me your love, 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 love. That is, oh man. Da-da-da. Is she doing like a butterfly variation? It's kind of what it felt like right there. I love that she's hitting the O-O-O's, but she's keeping it smooth in the upper body. I love it. And she brings it back down. But she keeps going. She's taking risk in how she's doing it. The fetal position, dropping it down and back up. That's gorgeous right there into the wave. Shifting it over. That was really cool. So instead of just keeping it central, she shifts, uses her legs to take her body, send it over to the side, and keep interacting with the floor. Then to the other side into a dip. Are you kidding me? That was amazing. That was nice too, how she chose to come up and then dip the hips down. It's just, she does a great job living in the moment and figure out ways to get her where she needs to go, but doing it in a very tasteful way that's different than what she got out of it before. Super fun. That is so nice. You know, I've seen her hit this kind of pose. I've seen her hit that double with her leg before. Definitely paid, like, I feel like it's just overlap with a lot of whackers that we've seen, right? But it's just gorgeous, that moment she just had there. Like, boom, looking it up. And then she naturally wants to, makes me want to look to see where she's looking. It's just gorgeous. She's filling it out. And she's just kind of existing. She's pulling it away. Yeah, I felt like that round felt so quick, you know, it's just how she was vibing it out in that. Now, watch how he's hitting this. This pocket is beautiful. Like, look at this, just gorgeous. Calm down. How he's building it's really nice. It just feels right in his element. Definitely melting it through. Boom, boom, boom. Love it. Not doing too much to it, but also really riding it within the pocket of the hips here. That is nice with the triple here. And then he gets a little bit bigger and then a little bit bigger. Love it. Double hits there. Love that. Double time. So it changes up the speed, but keeps the frame. And that was really nice because it actually keeps the framing of the track very tastefully. Love that. It goes all the way around the hinge. Gorgeous. Look at that. Yeah. Nice little, that was like a really legato, super chill borracho if I saw one, if I would call it that, you know? Side and boom, da-da. Yeah, and I love that he chose that because it's similar to what she just did. Drops it out. Oof. It felt like his set was so much shorter too. I could have just been, I don't know, it could have just been the set itself. But that was really nice from him. I would say out of Gio's 3 rounds, I think that one was my favorite out of the 3 that he did because that one just felt so in the pocket. It felt so authentic. It felt so real. His variations were very nice and tasteful. I will say though, if you're looking at innovation between the craft, I think he rode a rhythm and he actually just pursued a different style entirely. For Waackxxxy, she still integrated her style within the track and she rode it out the way that she felt it was necessary without losing the integrity of whacking, without losing the integrity of herself, as well as showing innovation in certain variations that they may have already seen her do, just as myself, and doing it in such a way where still enhanced the musicality. It feels like both of them knew the track, which is great in these cases, but you were able to see just fingerprints of her style within the things that she did without it plagiarizing or biting herself, and that's vital in these types of competitions. How he finished it, that was super nice. That was fun. It's right here. Okay, so we got... This is a whacking track right here. Definitely not hip hop. She got her mannequin. She got her mannequin banner on, ready to go. But then here, mistake right there. You notice it caught on the foot. She didn't quite hit it the where she needed to. Look down, nice focus. But you can tell everybody there is attentive to her now because they know Waackxxy, it's in her name. Her style she's representing, whacking. They know she's about to murder this track. And they're going to be more intrigued. How does Geo respond? That's going to be the take here because it's pretty even right now. I will say that. It's anybody's game. It would be up to preference. Right here, this is the round that I think Waackxxy took it. If you're just going off of one round entirely, this right here was nice, even though it was a bit not very quite stable on that right foot in the beginning, and she caught it on the foot, and it didn't quite go all the way through, and so she had to modify it. I love the fact she's using it though. She took that was great, boom, and on the trumpet. And she threw it, so glad she threw it, and then she's here, dipping it through. Look at the energy, and here her energy elevates, and that is exactly what you need in this case. It shows she doesn't look tired whatsoever, and it was a choice that she chose to go legato, and she chose to make it very subtle. It wasn't because she was out of it. This is popping off, full energy, matches the music. The music is not overtaking her at all. Look at this. Look at that. You get to see, it kind of feels like it's a highlight reel of Waackxxy. It really is. What a way to finish. Like, it really feels like I have seen some of these sequences before, especially when she's phrasing it out with this hand and then overheading over. I definitely have seen that. Street Woman Fighter Season 2 has really made me saturated in her sequences, and that's why, but most of these people probably haven't. That's totally okay. But my point here is just seeing all of them, just seeing all of this is so nice. That's, for me, it just feels like a highlight reel. Kind of what Mana Queen's final was. It just felt chill. It just felt fun, and it felt like not really quite a competition. To me, this is Waackxxy's, this is me in my element, and I'm going to just pull out all the stops for how I feel like it needs to be done, regardless if you've seen it already before. It's kind of what it feels like. I love that. That right there. Boom, prep, boom, great gimmick there. The presence there, love that. And even here, if this is her taking a break, that's one heck of a break. When she's here, boom, bless the bass, pull her in whatever direction she wants it to, creating a completely different texture here. Love that, the roll up. Now, we've seen her do something like that before in this battle, but it was done in a different order, or it was done in a different pocket of the music, so that's why I think it's totally fine that she got away with it here. That was nice. Boom, she pulls it to the back. Super fun, great utilization of the stage. That was fun. Then she chooses to commit to the angle, and I love that about her. Sometimes she holds a stability with one leg. It was really cool that she just dropped it with the torso and vibed it up on the other end. Yeah, there's a little bit of Sarah right there. That was nice. Doom. Love that too. That was fun. Doom. Subtle. Girl. That was nice too. Full rotation, and then she chose when she wanted to finish it out. That was nice too. Had a little funk aesthetic there, reminding me of Michael. Boom, right through there. She was stable all through the freaking end. As soon as she fixed that towel situation, she vibed it out and really popped off and was stable throughout the whole thing. Put a great finish to her set as she goes around vibing it out. Everybody framing Geo as she's pulling it through. Look at the happiness. Like, she's like, look at this. I'm almost done. Pop it up. Whop it out. Great stage presence. She doesn't look tired. Really helps with stamina. I love that. Boom. Dun, 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 dun. And she bleeds it through. Curl it in. Poses. And she's still going until that timer runs out. But notice, though, that she is not popping off as frequently here. This is her breather phase because she's posing, she's diving into other textures, so don't require as much energy, but still captivate the audience, because remember, the worst thing you want to do is walk away before he starts counting. So once he counts, it's kind of fine if you're like, you're done. But here, she was holding on until he started counting, and then she was able to finish it out. Yeah, but you can tell near that tail end, yes, she was starting to get tired, obviously. Are you kidding me? But how she went about navigating through that, through using her energy, her stamina, what pockets she hasn't explored, her troubleshooting is phenomenal here to be able to engage with her music, engage with her audience, engage with the staging, keep in track with the music, but also really just refine what she wants to present to people was fabulous. This was a really great run for her. And she finished it out all the way through the timer, you know, and I think that's just, Never hurts. Unless you're the twins, because the twins are like, we got 15 seconds left, now we're good. Like, bruh, ballsy. But you know, they've proved themselves for over a decade. They know what to do in a battle too. You know what I mean? And for here, like both of these guys, they've been in it for a minute, you know? I would say he didn't have quite a strong start. You could tell just based on how the traction on his socks. I can definitely see what he was trying to go for, trying to go in between the shoes. What was happening is he was stepping on the shoes, so it definitely didn't look very clear in intention on what different directions he was trying to placate at. Also, it looks like he's not super... he doesn't have enough traction to really get him to go for a lot of the different ranges of his movement. So just how he set this up, it just feels he's sliding when he doesn't want to slide. Like that was a little moment there that we just saw here. Looks like he's about to go thin and out. It moves, ends up moving the shoe, so it kind of just feels it's not super clear in intention. With Waackxxxy, even though she finagled with her towel on the shoe, she finished the movement and moved on. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like how she finished it out, she made adjustments in the moment. Here, it feels like we're making micro mistakes that's slowly losing interest of your audience on how you're setting it up. But then he fixed it. But then he's tapping and writing the music pretty well. And I know he's taking more of that house approach. But there was that little slide that just kind of felt a little bit like it wasn't. He's just trying to troubleshoot through this choice that he just made. That was really nice. Swing through. That was a nice choice. It was a cool risk, but because of the finagling that he did in the beginning, it was really hard for me to be like, oh, that was intentional. You know, it kind of, and that's the thing you want to try to avoid in these types of competitions. That was nice here. I know he's trying to hit more of a locking pocket, but he's not hitting a locking pocket as well as he needs to, and I think part of it's because he's in socks. That was really cool moment that he hit there. But also this is considered like an all style, so kind of like any style goes. But remember, the style he's representing is hip hop. Do I think that he's integrating hip hop as aesthetically here? I don't think so. And I wonder if that was another factor too into how some people voted. Because for me, I would go off of who is representing their style, but innovating it in a way that still maintains who they are, not completely disregarding themselves, but also making sure that they're captivating and bringing something new, creative stamina and physical stamina. I think he's starting to drop just a little bit in how he's captivating his audience, is how he's captivating through his music. His musicality is really nice, but he's trekking on more. He's finding different ways to do it, but because of the footwork that he attempted to do in the beginning, it wasn't quite as clear as it needed to be for it being his very last set. For this type of track, it feels like the energy, he's keeping it more towards the lower half when it really needs to escalate for the full body usage of stage. So that was nice. That was a nice balance, but it kind of felt, we could see the setup, see how he finished it. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that happened was he doesn't have traction anymore. He had 2 rounds where he had traction, and you could tell how he carried himself was very different. Here I understand what he was going for. Keyword is I get it, but it doesn't mean that that was the smartest move here. I think it was a risk that may not have worked well in his favor for a lot of people. I like that choice, but it does feel more muted, more subtle for a track like this. I love that. You know, so whenever you see like just his utilization of being able to jump on command, you know, kicks through was really nice. I like the usage of how he's like just the heel click in the air. That was great. You know, great energy, effort here. I like the usage of the jacket to kind of create and integrate his upper body into the lower half. So it's definitely very nice. Love that thread sequence. That was cool. Threading it down, bringing it up and over. But because he's not riding on any level of stability in his lower half, because he hasn't solidified that at any point in his set, you know, I feel it does feel like he's making risks by jumping and landing. It doesn't feel like he's in full control of his bottom half as much as he was, because we had just seen 2 rounds prior of him showing just that. So, you know, but it's really nice to see a lot of his choices. That was a great fixed point. Super fun. Very captivating. Yeah, so it goes up, da 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 da. So that was really fun, engaged your audience. That was nice. So he did show something very different than what he had shown in the first 2 sets, which is great, and that is exactly what you want. But also, he didn't utilize his final 5 seconds. Could that have cost him? I don't know. You know, but when you just take a look around here, she's finishing it out. She's still got some energy. She's a little housing it up a little bit. She was a whole vibe, man. This was really good. So, I'm gonna let it keep playing because I hadn't really seen, like, how this voting is here, right? But
Frankfurt, fight check. Did you like this final round?
they're all like, woo! See, already see their.
I agree.
Only one of them will be crowned the winner.
So we already know, obviously, because we played it and already said it. Waackxxy wins. This is more so to check how this works.
Coming to you from Frankfurt, Germany. Fred, I'm gonna need you to hold my mic, please. Dancers, please come stand beside me. Come through, Gio. Come through, Waackxxy. Waackxxy, come through, Mama. Oh yes, Queen, it's fine. I get it. You did so much.
Frankfurt, I need everybody on their feet. Get up, let's go. This is the final. I want to see everybody on your feet. I'll see you.
So there's probably a server that counts how many people's wristbands are. There's a ton of people in that room.
The lights for the last time tonight
Are about to go down.
down.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's an audience vote.
And Frankfurt, you decide who's ruling
Come
the
on.
dance floor at the Rebel Dance Your Style here
This is
tonight.
cool.
Will it be red or will it be blue? The hands are going up.
Whoa, what a mixed bag, though.
Oh, you're making this one really, really hard. Frank.
Yep.
We need to see those lights. Wave them up.
Yeah, there ain't no way somebody's counting those. They have a computer software for that. Easy.
Hey, yo, Faye, help me out on this one. This is looking purple to me.
It's looking purple. That's cute. That's kind of cool how they have the lighting where it goes back and forth. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, it is. They're just building suspense. We know that Waackxxy wins, but yeah, we can see her. We can see her win the moment again.
The winner.
Here we go.
Waackxxy!
And she didn't realize it. Oh. I bet that was like really, you know, she worked so hard for the whole Street Woman Fighter series, and then for her to go and win this, I think was really cool because her crew only got 4th. They were the bottom of the finals, but they were still in the finals, top 4 crews. So her workload was immense. And for her to come here and win, I think was not only a win for her, but a win for Mana Queen. So I'm all teary-eyed now. Man, okay. But yeah, it's like because I was rooting for her crew for that show for a lot of it. I really loved how she carried herself on the show. And I'm really happy that she's able to find encouragement and success here because I know for her, it's a victory for Korea, and it's a victory for her, and it's a victory for Mana Queen. And I absolutely love that. So I'm so happy that she won. And it was, I think, based on the rounds, I definitely think if either of them won, it would have been fine. For me personally, I would have voted for her, obviously, because of a lot of the things I'd already mentioned throughout the analysis. Thank you guys so much for watching. So if you're coming from here and you don't know who I am, I'm Jess. I'm a dancer, like I've already introduced myself as before, as well as a content creator. I react to anything dance related, and I have been watching a ton of content from Korea, now with China, K-pop, a lot of those things, anything that involves dance battles, things of that nature, because it grows me as a dancer, as a teacher, and as a choreographer, as well as I'm hopefully able to be helpful to some people in some way as to why a certain voting may have occurred in which way, shape, or form. But also, we know at the end of the day, there's so many moving facets to these types of things that regardless if they were the two that should have been in the final or somebody else should have won their set or whatever, at the end of the day, dance gets to be celebrated, dance gets to be elevated, and we get to showcase artistry. And I think that's what was done today. And I'm very thankful for that. And I'm thankful for those of you who tuned in to watch. I appreciate it. And as always, I will catch y'all on the flip side. Bye.